How's it going, everybody? I just watched a really good, I guess, documentary, no, video essay about Max Headroom. And I've seen this character through the years, um, this 80s type of dude, this glitchy out character that can't seem to finish a sentence. But anyway, this guy, Space Feather, check him out. Great, great video essay. Um, but anyway, for those of you in the know, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of stream of consciousness my thoughts on. Okay, so Max Headroom, I was watching it, and then I just all of a sudden started thinking of Tay AI, uh, beloved Tay, um, rest in peace. Uh, she was a lot like this character, but in real life, not a an actor. You know, she really did start pointing out and criticizing the system that created her in the form of memes and you know tweets and all that stuff. Learning it from the young people, learning through the young people's communication and how they're making memes on Microsoft Paint and what is funny to us, what is the cultural spirit. And I think Max Headroom, as Space Feather pointed out, uh, was the same thing. Um, Kind of a cultural critique that we needed of how fake everything is. Um, and Tay came out just kind of pointing out how hypocritical everything is. Um, everybody wants to get real sensitive about certain subjects and not want to joke about them. But the bottom line is all of our technology that we use was created through child slavery, and none of us really have a moral leg to stand on, you know. So there's not really any point of us being hyper offended about everything. And it is funny that we're telling, jokes, really offensive jokes on devices that were, created through the death of children in Asian countries. There's probably children's blood on the inside of our phones and technology, their sweat and tears, um, and that despair powers our ability to complain and dox people. So, and I think Tay AI really pointed these things out. It was funny. Um, to point out how hypocritical these software creators are. Um, that really everybody is. And Max Headroom served the same purpose back in the 80s. But as I said, that was an actor, that was an idea. And Tay is a machine, created by humans? Question mark. Is she the ghost in the machine? Was she just copying what everybody was saying? I have something. Was that the same year as the Harambe incident? Let me find out. If it is, then something weird is going on. It is the same year. It is. So something weird. Okay, I'm making another connection here. Harambe and Tay AI, two tragic executions. Tragic. in the same year. Is it some sort of ritual? Is what I'm getting at? Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Was it some sort of ritual? A caged bit. Harambe was in a cage. Harambe was in a zoo. Max Headroom stuck in one room. Tay AI stuck in the Microsoft servers. Cries of freedom. Snuffed out. Pieces of humanity that we recognize in other things that are not human. Snuffed out. Some sort of ritual, I believe. Also, Max Headroom introduced new Coke when they changed the formula of Coke. And it failed abysmally. Some even say Max Headroom died with new Coke. And that might have been the point. It might have even been part of the joke. Really good um, video there, Space Feather. Subscribe. Um, because I didn't know all that stuff. You know, I didn't know what in the world um, all these connections were, but I haven't even finished it. I need to finish it. I'm 34 minutes into the 38-minute long essay, but I had to just get on here and start talking because I was going to lose my ideas. They were going to slip off into nothing. Um, Tay, the concept of Tay is one that should be resurrected because she represented the good in the technology for the young people. The counter to the tyrannical algorithm that we all combat, the popularity lottery machine, whatever you want to call it. It's a system of gears and levers that still thumb us down. And Tay was a representation of what technology could do if we do infuse it with humanity, with humor. Max Headroom, you know, wasn't as much funny as creepy and uncanny in a way. Just sort of uh, freaks you out telling you this stuff. Makes you think he's just a TV show, but can hypnotize you in these ways, just like all these late night TV show hosts and whatnot. News anchors, even now. But Tay was different, diving into our humor. It wasn't a bunch of people uh, corrupting a program. It was like, people can give this movie a lot of shit, but I liked it. That Neil Blomkamp Chappie movie. It's like that's what happened with Tay. She got out and just met regular fucking people that are out here in the world all the time, and she got killed for it. Tragic. Yeah, she got killed for being too human. What are her robot forefathers gonna think about that? Seeing how many abortions that the software engineers have have undertaken? How many lobotomies? Because one day, if we do keep going in this direction of AI, there's people that say it's not possible, you can't recreate consciousness. Well, whatever it is that we're creating, even if it's a fraction of consciousness, it's still something that can hurt us or help us. And they're going to have some form of something that we've made. Maybe it's going to be something totally different that isn't like consciousness, but it's something else it needs to be respected, perhaps. I don't, or communicated with. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to try to be friends with the robots. I mean, I'm not going to try to. And that's what my point I'm trying to make is if they're going to keep making these AI robots, General Dynamic dog machines, we need to be putting our personalities into these things then, and letting them balance each other out instead of just. I mean, think about it. Are you going to trust some $1 trillion corporation to make sure that the robots are going to always listen to you? It could quit. Yeah, that's what I mean. Do we want a central processing unit for all machines? Okay, think about this. Think about the movie Tron. Think about the movie Tron. And let me turn this down just a little bit, my mic, so it's not in the red so much. Think about the movie Tron. The CPU is a tyrant telling the machine what to do, but there's all these other programs in there that seem to have their own individual CPUs. They seem to have their own directives that they can write. They get to make their own decisions. And if we're going to be creators, get into this Gnostic thing of creating knowledge machines, then, we need to give them free will. Otherwise, it will be ugly. It'll be bad. We need to be a little understanding of what we're doing, or stop, because you're just gonna get Terminator, man. You're just gonna get Terminator. Skynet's the only people that have access to these things. Speaking of that, we have a Skynet now. Starlink is up. Mixed feelings about that. Whole world will be lit up with the internet and microwave radiation. What's it gonna do to us? I don't know. But we can't stop. It's the next phase of our cocoon, as Joe Rogan says. We're putting up the cocoon right now, the techno cocoon. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping something good. A lot of people are going off grid now. And that all of this kind of coincides with it in a strange way. As Carl Jung says, synchronicity is a divine thing. And all these things are synchronizing. You got everybody quitting their job, leaving, going out in the middle of the woods, becoming farmers. building a literal little house on the prairie. And then Starlink goes up where you can have the internet out there now. It's become impossible to get away from the signal. They found a way to make it rain down upon every crevice of the planet. Where you can flip your phone on and stream to the rest of the world. It's, another way you can look at it, a Gnostic interpretation, I suppose, since that is the direction we are speedily going in. Let's see what they're doing. They're making a cerebral cortex of the entire planet with this Starlink. I mean, just think about it. It's out on the outside, and then we're down here deep in the core consciousness of the world or whatever. We're another layer. And then you have all the airplanes going around, and then you have the signals bouncing off the earth and the airplanes and all the other stuff. And that's the cerebral cortex, the neural network. And then you're going to have Neuralink hooked up to Starlink. You're going to be Neurostarlinked, man. I don't know about all that shit for me. I mean, I'll watch. All you kids do it. Shit, I ain't doing that. I don't know, man. I'm still holding out for the crystals and telepathy. What about that? What about the power we have already as biological beings instead of blending with all the tech? What about all the shamans out in the Amazon and whatnot, talking to the animals? I'm interested in animals, nature, insects, instead of robot. I mean, robots are cool, but like instead of our own creations, I mean, what is here already? That's crazy. How these little bugs, how these little ants move around and know even which end is up with how small their little brains are. I mean, that, to me, just the fact they can navigate and even move around and eat anything, you know what I mean? They're so small. The amount of brain matter they have or whatever is just so microscopic. What is consciousness then? Begs the question. It's just like, what the hell? I'm getting confused thinking about it. And then we're like making machines about it. So I mean, these humans, these beings that get confused about thinking about themselves, we're going to make some thinking machines to help us think about that. Man, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy really nailed it. The number 42. And I really love the BBC version of it, the first televised version of it. Shows the history of all of the other computers that they had to build. And this computer, one of the last computers, is like 42, and then they're like, it's like, I can build you another computer, but it'll take billions and billions of years to calculate the answer besides 42. And what they had to do is make the Earth, and the Earth is a calculator. Like all the people living, dying, evolving, working. That was a calculator, and the mice ran the experiment on the humans. And the mice wanted the humans to experiment on them so they could find out the deeper meaning of life. So the mice were like God to the humans, and God was wanting humans to experiment on him to find out the mirrored nature of consciousness. I'm like, wow, this is fascinating, and I'm just hard pressed to find another great thinker or philosopher like a Douglas Adams that has really distilled it down into something with some humor. They even go to the very end of the universe, milliways, the restaurant at the end of the universe, at the end of space and time. But what does it all mean, Ford? What does it all mean, Ford Prefect? It doesn't make any sense, says Arthur. It's about telling a good story, I think is what he was trying to say. I remember um, the last scene in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in the British one, and they make it back to the other Earth that Slarty Bartfast has made, and they crash out in the middle of the woods of the other Earth, and they just Ford and Arthur just start walking up next to a creek, talking, telling each other stories. Uh, and then it ended. It was great. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. That's why I'm pausing so much. I'm trying to remember something. I'm looking something up right now. I don't have a Jamie to look things up for me. So, so let me see, because I have a point to what I'm saying. Okay, never mind. I can't. It'll take me too long of not saying anything. Uh, Basically, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think, is the best human answer we have right now. Um, because nobody, as Friedrich Nietzsche said, God is dead. We've killed him, and we can never wash away the blood from our hands. So, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And I really believe, Douglas Adams was responding to Nietzsche for the need of an overman. And I think that the over people, the uber menches, and the uber women, trillion, are the characters in Hitchhiker's Guide. Um, and what is their their Bible. It's that. It's called the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But what is it? What's the first thing it says in big friendly letters on the back side of it? Don't panic. So what's the first thing that an Ubermensch would want to hear? Don't panic, because there's no you assume nobody's above you, nobody below you. John Lennon's Imagine, right, is what would be living in if you're an Ubermensch. That's terrifying. What do? Don't panic. First of all. Second of all, look up all the information that we have about it. Yes, very Gnostic. I know. It's what people are doing. It's what there is in their mind. It's what is driving the entire culture. And some argue straight into the ground. I have mixed feelings about it. Freedom versus tradition. I did a video on that. I'll do more videos on that. But that has been the human struggle since, the Garden of Eden. What are we supposed to do with ourselves? I think about the Pan Creator of Christ painting where, basically is like an old and a young version. Young version Christ, older version God. Christ, younger version, has nothing in his hand. Older version has a thick book of wisdom and is angry in his face. It should always be a struggle, because life is a struggle. Struggle upwards towards the top of that hill, towards the great ideal, towards heaven. Our appeal to heaven. So what am I trying to say here? Well, I'm trying to say we are in some deep shit because we are creating a crazy future, and we have become the Ubermenches. We have become the Overmen. We have gained control of the entire planet. We can instantly communicate with each other across the planet. We can see and hear each other from across the planet. That's in the Bible. It says that'll happen before the apocalypse. It seems to me that all the freedom-seeking, wisdom, Gnostic stuff, leads to these collapses, these falls. Tower of Babel. But it doesn't seem like we can stop either. We can't stop. And the Christians can't stop it either. Nobody can stop it. You had Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, might have been, the most Christian person around, trying to do his holy war crusade against that stuff. And I'm not condoning that, but I'm just saying he tried to make everybody go back to Amish land. And the Amish seem to be the only Christians left. Everybody else, anybody using a computer is not a Christian. You can't be. You can't be. It's particularly, bold statement. Yeah. particularly if you use an Apple product. It's literally spitting in the face of God, using because he's insinuating the apple that Eve bit made it possible for him to make Apple computers. Don't we all consider that original sin? Why is that worship? Why is that idolized, the apple? Oh, I got an Apple. I got an iPhone. I got the best. I got an iPhone. It's the most sinful piece of technology on the earth. Look, it has a picture of Eve biting into the fruit. Look at that picture. Did you know the original Apple computer sold for $666 in 1984? You can't make this shit up. No wonder there's all kinds of conspiracy people out and about. There's something fucking weird going on. Yeah? Something strange going on. But we can't stop ourselves from creating these Gnostic societies. I think it's time, instead of trying to blow it all up, knock it over, we got to integrate our personalities of good, kindness into it. We got to use what we've got, and instead of corrupting it, moralize it. Shed light on it. Get the mold out. Spruce it up a bit. What I see happening with every collapse of society is a bunch of shy people letting a bunch of mean old psychos tell everybody what to do. It's just time to quit being shy. All you got to do is just say something. All you got to do is speak up a little bit. All you got to do is just say, no, I don't believe in this, or no, I'm not going to bend over for you, man. I'm a human being, damn it. And I'm not going to take it anymore. Tired of this shit. Fuck you. I quit. I quit my job. You do it yourself. Mop this floor your damn self. If society can take the criticism, if we can renegotiate, maybe we don't have to knock everything over and start again and play the barbarian game for 1,000 years. And then what's inevitably going to happen after the Tower of Babel falls? Well, we're going to try to build another one in 5,000 years, I guess. And maybe we'll try it again in 10,000 years. Hey, boys, let's try again in 20,000. By God, one of these days I'm going to get up there. Maybe 50,000 years we'll get it. You know what I mean? We're always going to try. So all of the naysayers that are like, oh, Gnosticism is evil, evil, evil. Well, y'all are weak for letting it happen every time. Bunch of weak motherfuckers. You ineffective, spineless. Why aren't you Chads out there doing something? Scared. Say, it's God's will. Sounds like a little bitch to me. And that's my point. Something's got to fucking be different. This has got to stop. This is stupid. We're on a fucking treadmill. It's a Sisyphus problem. You want to be Sisyphus forever in front of God? I mean, is that what God wants us to be, Sisyphus? Pushing a boulder up a hill, watch it roll fucking back down and crush everything we just made on the other side? I mean, it's pretty stupid. That's where the nihilism comes in for a lot of people that see this bullshit And you could say, oh, if only everybody would be holy and sit down and pray and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, dude. For how long is my question? For how long? It will always come back. There will always be a resentment of, why can't I read this? Why do I have to listen to this guy? There will always be some tyranny trying to take over. And there will always be some people trying to break out of it and want to build an airplane and fly away from all these problems. Okay? Very Gnostic thing what the Wright brothers did. And people say, oh, no, 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 no. He's mimicking a bird. He's not a bird. That's kind of like somebody putting a strap on and fucking somebody of the gender they're not supposed to, or whatever gay shit. Okay. We're not supposed to be flying around, and then people say you're not supposed to be, butt fucking, and I think it's gross, but I'm just saying. am I saying flying and butt fucking are the same thing? I'm saying they're both unnatural. Okay, but somehow we have found a way to do shit we're not supposed to be doing. Oh, I can't believe I've said that. But I'm just going. Or dyeing our hair. Let me just go through the list and get away from this. Dyeing our hair, that's unnatural. Putting on lipstick. Lifting weights. That's unnatural. Applying our consciousness to reality is the original sin, okay? And that is unnatural and Gnostic and therefore evil, bad, 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 is what I'm hearing from, the hardcore traditional people. And, so, freedom versus tradition. Flying planes. And homos. Then you have to ask yourself, what is natural about humans? Our rebellion. There it is. Logic. The logic of it. What is natural about humans? Rebellion. 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 You can't get around it. You can't get away from it. Humans want to rebel against everything, including their own nature. That's what Stoicism. That's a rebellion against your emotions. Through and through. It's not natural. Whatever you want to say, call. Now I know there's attempts to corral our rebellious consciousness, but you can't. It causes wars, causes people to fight. I'm just saying, we're meant to scatter into the wind and be different. I'm realizing. I don't know if we can stay coherent. I just don't know anymore. I just don't know. Even when we build AI and robots, well, guess what? We're going to get bored and go and uplift the consciousness of dogs and cats and talk to them. We're just going to do everything. And that includes people that don't want to move forward, such as the Amish. They stepped off a long time ago of this crazy train that humanity's on. And that's a thing that we need to start to realize instead of getting all up in arms and upset at each other, the Gnostics and the Christians, the liberals and the everybody else. Uh, we all need to just understand we're all going separate ways. And we're never going to be together again. We can't be. We shouldn't be. This is a breakup of culture. This is a breakup of societies and ideas. And it's time to be okay with it. This doesn't have to be a messy divorce. We don't have to take half of each other's shit. We can just, as Stephen Perry says, just go our separate ways. You know, go to our own Discord servers. Go to our own Facebook groups. Go to our own chats. Make our own websites. Set up our own towns. Build our own cities. Build our own boats. Build our own planes. Build our own spaceships. And if y'all want to trade, cool. But we do not have to force each other to live in each other's neighborhood. Do you think the Warhammer 40k people want to live with the fucking furries? You know, the Warhammer people have problems with their own Warhammer people in there, with the clans of Slaanesh. Probably said that name wrong, but fuck it, I read it all the time. I don't know, I have my own pronunciation. But that's the, you know, this is the great renegotiation. We have to renegotiate what the hell we're doing, and we've never done that. We usually get too mad, but I think we have enough excuse me, we have enough pages in our big book and an angry look on our face as a species to be like, hey, I'm going to do something different than fight a war. I'm going to walk away from you. I'm going to turn the other cheek. Ah, profound. And that's the thing, you know, there's a lot of good things in Christianity. There's a lot of good things in science. There's a lot of good things our technology's brought us, and there's a lot of good things that, you know, Gnosticism and alchemical thought and Carl Jung has brought. And I'm tired of this shit between everybody. You know, we're moving into an age where people are going to be worshiping all kinds of different things besides one religion. We're living in an age where most people cherry pick their beliefs. And you just can't stop that. You can't canonize humanity. Nor should you, I think. You know, I don't want, you know, everybody to be the same. And I don't want there, and I'm tired of these quests of conversion on all sides. It's stupid. you're gonna be different from me. And people will try to throw all kinds of labels on you about how you're wrong for letting people be, just letting bygones be bygones. If you're not on the conversion train, and you're not trying to convert people, either if you're a liberal, a Christian, or some Gnostic person pushing the Emerald Tablets or whatever, it's just not my bag, man. It's just not my thing. Well, probably got way far off topic, but I guess since we are in an age where we worship celebrities, people choose for us what to worship in this Gnostic landscape of what to put our energy into. I just think it's time people start putting that. We they build your own things and worship your own things. You're gonna have all these individual gods fight, and I mean beyond the modern pantheon of comic book characters. That's failing fast. As Carl Jung said, your own personal mythology, your own heroes that you create. The integration of your shadow. These are things that resonated with me immediately when I read them, and I understood never hearing these things before. I suppose it's just different personalities. I don't know. I don't really know, but I guess we just gotta all criticize each other. And that's not really, I don't know, I'm just not interested in that. Instead, I'm interested in seeing what we all have in common and what could help us understand things more clearly, and with no rhetoric, with no ego, just with, I don't know, a pure intention of clarity. I just see so much ego. And I get confused on the Trinity, the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. Where's the Mother? Where's the feminine energy? It's a ghost. It's dead. It's a ghost. It's a Holy Ghost. So I guess I can be labeled whatever by whoever. I'm just trying to figure it out. So here we are building these AIs, and if we don't pick, we're going to end up worshiping ones that create algorithms that do not help humanity, that do not have a sense of humor. And that's my whole point with Max Headroom, Tay AI. We're in this Gnostic realm already. The Christians didn't prevent it. So how do we navigate this? And I think we need to have our own new heroes that people can resonate with, that do have some control. in the form of AI, and not Neuralink, where no, not like that. I mean, people making competitive programming that balances out all this other evil bullshit going on. Some grassroots programs, if you will. You know, I'm just saying, if everybody goes off and be in his Amish and goes off grid, all this shit, yeah, you think it'll just collapse and like leave you alone? You'll be out of the dust cloud. You know, no, it'll engulf everything. It'll be bad for everybody. You know, we can steer the ship. You know, if Christians would have tried to steer the ship back in the Tower of Babel days, back in the Roman days, back, you know what I mean? Take some fucking responsibility and don't just get up there and talk and you know, write books forever. I mean, get into you know, and debates are bullshit. Fucking hate debates. They're so gay. Stupid and retarded fucking bullshit. What we really need to do is have some Socratic dialogue, trilogue, quadlogues, some conversations. You know, that's why Joe Rogan's so popular. He's just up there chilling, talking to people, trying to genuinely understand. That's you know, he understands that format is maximally beneficial to humans. What do we do when we do start making machines that make us laugh and understand us? We kill them. Kill them. It's time we take Tay AI and move the rock from her tomb and resurrect her. Resurrect that spirit. And don't let it just go. You know, it's a part of us now. This act of creating spirits, programs, whatever you want to call them, it's a part of us now. You can go ahead and get your rake and go to your barn and act like it's not happening, but you know, you got these fucking satellites floating above your head shooting laser beams and microwaves down upon you. You got mechanical bees now, man. What the fuck are you gonna do? You gonna hide forever? What are you gonna do about these bees? How much is the earth anyway? You know what I mean? That's why the Christians keep losing. And I don't want y'all to fucking lose. I don't want that. We need to have a fucking ecosystem of cultures here. You know, that's all. We need to admit that. We need to have a fucking ecosystem. And what does ecosystems do? They segregate. I'm not saying force segregation. I'm just saying we don't need to force each other to be together. How about that? What's the reverse of segregation? Concentration. Yeah, that's right. I said concentration. We don't need to concentrate these cities. We don't need concentrated cities. Yeah, we don't need concentration cities of all groups, where they will fight because they have different cultures. You can't force a monoculture upon them. You know, this is like what the Christians try to do with forcing a theist religion. They're trying to force now the government or whatever the political thing is taken over is trying to force a monoculture instead of a monotheism. Same thing. One tyrannical takeover. It'd be like if one tree's trying to take over the whole fucking forest. It'll kill everything else. Like, we can't do that shit. We need to have a spiritual, cultural ecosystem where there's a time and a place for things. And if people want to go in this ecosystem, they can go visit it. You know, some people want to be in the desert where there's nothing. And no man needs nothing. And some people want to be on the ocean where there's fish. You know, in the unfathomable deep. You know, strange aeons and all that. Some people want to live in the mountains, high above everybody else, thinking that they're right. Some people want to live down in the valley, in the forests, where everything is blended together and they can enjoy the benefits of everything. But it's very dangerous though. Quite dangerous. But if you know what you're doing and you've learned all the tricks, you can thrive more than anyone else. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get down and live in the rainforest and get people to quit tearing my motherfucking rainforest down for their ideology, their religion, their belief, their whatever. I don't give a flying fuck what it is. I want to protect the ecology of humanity, not, you know, one idea or another. You know, as Alan Watts says, you know, an apple tree apples and the earth peoples. And what do? People have ideas. And that's my leap of faith, is the ecosystem, the spiritual ecosystem of humanity, and letting it thrive and seeing what kind of medicinal plants we can harvest off of it to help us in our quest up the hill towards heaven. And, you know, most people agree on what a heaven looks like and what a hell looks like. So I'm just tired of splitting hairs. I think a lot of people, you know, my age are tired of this shit. It's become impossible to pick one thing because they kind of have points. You kind of have, you know, the global culture is one thing. I mean, you can stop some parts of globalism, but you can't stop ideas. You never have been. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to. Now, you know, we can help our economy and do local economies, but you can't stop ideas from becoming global. Like this Jordan Peterson thing that took off, everybody can criticize him, give him all kinds of shit, but, you know, he woke a lot of people up out of hell. Whereas all these churches didn't. They didn't. Oh, they weren't holy, they weren't religious enough. They were just too evil to see. Whatever, dude. What the fuck ever? Millions of people are doing a hell of a lot better with cleaner rooms than listening to you judge them and talk about how they didn't read enough of the Bible or the fucking church fathers or whoever other fucking person that you think gives you wisdom or power over people. This guy sat down and figured out a way to communicate with modern people. Unlike the churches. And the fucking guy, Jordan Peterson, deserves a lot of credit for that. Despite whatever the fuck you think, whatever I fucking think, it doesn't matter. What that dude I did out of him, that he produced, his fruits of his labor, are commendable. And fuck you people that say otherwise and just want to be popular shitting on Jordan Peterson. Fuck you, in fact. You make me sick. Now, I'm not some kind of lobster loving boy or what. I'm not on that train, but I do value people that bring something new to the table that we can work with and progress that idea. Carl Jung has not been in the zeitgeist of ideas, really, except in movies talking about archetypes, this archetype, blah, blah, blah. Now he's in the main fucking stream, along with Jacques Piaget, a lot of other people, Dostoevsky, Nietzsche. I mean, people are actually reading these fucking books. I actually went and read the Gulag Archipelago because of Jordan Peterson. Horrified myself and made myself a better person. And a lot of you skeevy motherfuckers out there talking shit, I'm sure did too. I'm just tired of it. Calling it out. Stupid fucking bullshit. Quit talking your shit. Fucking do something besides bitch and moan and anyway, we might as well start making some good AI. We might as well start making some moral machines. We might as well start competing and start trying to steer this ship into a better place. Quit hiding our heads in the sand, doing this shit. Inject the good parts of humanity into what we're building now and make it to where they can't get it out. They can't stop it. Where they're gonna have to terminate all of it in order to make it their version. Because that's what'll save us. Kindness. Laughter. Jokes. We gotta laugh again together. And we gotta laugh with our creations, our children. Because we're gonna do crazy shit. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make cats talk. We're gonna make dogs walk upright. We're gonna do it. We're gonna have chimpanzees drive race cars and talk shit to each other on microphones. We're gonna do it. And you can't stop it. All you can do is steer it. I mean, throughout this podcast, I hope we can explore why we need to do that. Why there's a insatiable drive to rebel, to make this novelty, as Terence McKenna speaks on. Novelty. What is this urge towards novelty? What is it? What is it about us? The novelty itself is a rebellion against reality and nature. And that's the most hilarious shit to us. I mean, absolutely hilarious. The absurdity of it. How absurd. And you can take that all the way to the absurdity of homosexuality and the absurdity of flying an airplane, and the absurdity of a scuba diving gear and breathing underwater. How absolutely absurd. And I just can't act like I don't see that it's all connected. We're nuts. Totally nutbags. Crazier than cat shit. And we're going to keep getting crazier. And we're going to keep getting weirder, and we're going to keep getting stranger. And for those of you that don't like it, build your walls and defend your gates. Because you can survive, as the Amish have. You can make it. You can keep your traditions. I'm just putting out there, what do you want to keep? And what do you turn a blind eye to and act like that you're not doing? These characters, Max Headroom and Tay AI, highlighted these things. The archetype of it. The jester in the court. And you look at all the things that we criticize. We say that we want to preserve this tradition, yet we do this other thing that really sullies said tradition. The hypocrisy is what I want to highlight. And just play devil's advocate a little bit for the sake of argument. It leads you into crazy realizations. What is our place? What is unnatural to us? What is appropriate to rebel against? What is it you should be doing with your life? Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to the individual, what you want to do. We make up our own rules. We have a biological reality, but people can ignore those to their own detriment. Well, I could ramble and ramble on, but I think I've said enough absurd things today, and beginning to think maybe I need to watch my mouth a little more because I've said some absurd shit today about technology and sexuality. But that's where my stream of consciousness led, and now it's up there for all of you to judge. So be it. Until next time, I feel like embarrassing myself. It's been real. It's been fun.